Chapter 70 Siri. What's the saying? The Lord humiliates. Fan Xian looked at Fuji Zijing. Fuji Zijing's words were picked up extremely quickly. The subject dies. Bastard words. You die and I do not have a benefit. Of course it is to be someone else's death. Know how to do it. Fuji Zijing responded without hesitation, although he knew in his heart, if he beat up Guobakuan in the street, not to mention his relationship with the crown prince, let alone the fact that he is the son of the minister of the Shangshu, this is an extremely heavy crime. If the Sananbo doesn't care about this file, hosting this matter of his own, only afraid to escape from the Kyoto for many years to be. But he still unambiguously responded to this matter, because he believed that following this young man in front of him, in the future, will definitely get out of the current state of this kind of high and low life. This confidence came from many aspects, including young Master Fan's knowledge, speech, means, and heart, as well as his intuition from Fuji Zijing. Fan Xian nodded, satisfied with the other party's attitude, but said something a little strange. You don't know how to do it. Fuji Zijing was a bit taken aback, not understanding what the young master meant. Fighting is a must, otherwise how can I get this bad anger out of my heart? Fan Xian smiled gently and incomparably. This sunny smile, however, made Fuji Zijing a bit unnerved as usual. Just have to figure out how to fight. Who is going to fight? How can you beat the pain without worrying about being hit by the official board? Originally, I also thought that beating him would dirty my own hands, but if it's you or you call out to the guards in the house to do it, it won't be easy to talk to the officials in the future, and I believe that father won't go out of his way to offend the Guo family because of a couple of underlings. Fan Xian continued to explain with a smile, if it was me who did it, my identity is different, and the consequences will naturally be much lighter. The marriage between the Fan Lin two families is imminent. And father and that nobleman in the palace who is bent on facilitating this marriage can't afford to let anything happen to me. Tu Zijing frowned and advised, young master must not take matters into his own hands. Besides, a fight between the sons and daughters of the powerful nobles in the capital is after all only a small matter. If you want to drag the old master and the Fan family's helpers in the palace into it, it is really some. Fuji Zijing stopped talking, but Fan Xian took over his words. Some of them are small, but not big. Some nonsense? He then smiled and shook his head. I'm only talking about ifs, but the truth is, I'm not prepared to give him any chance to bite back after beating him. Fuji Zijing's heart chilled, thinking that this young master wasn't preparing to cause a murder, was he? Fan Xian guessed what was going through his mind and smiled without explaining, only asking, Prince Jing is invited, isn't he? Invited. Where did you book? Drunken Immortal Residence. The name of this restaurant is quite elegant. Young master, this is a greenhouse. Fan Xian was stunned, and with a bitter smile, he responded, asking, is the sack ready? To the west of Kyoto, there was a flowing crystal river, and before the river was about to flow into the Tsangshan Mountains, it slowed down and nestled into a large pool of mirror-like water. Every night, many boats walk freely on the lake, above the lights and colors, like a crystal palace, as eye-catching, very beautiful. Hundreds of people know what this above is doing business, but the world trend is gradually open. There are not too many people will point fingers. Drunken Immortal Residence is not the largest among the brothel ship, but one of the highest grade, two-story ship, exquisite and beautiful, set up elegant. The most critical is this boat. Has the most popular one girl in Kyoto nowadays on the courtesan field, the Secretary Lily girl. This Secretary Lily girl appearance disposition is needless to say, since the self will also be some zither, chess, calligraphy and painting, playing and singing all kinds of proficiency, although do not see how deep attainments, but in many of the Kyoto talent intentionally or unintentionally bragged about, but also wrestled with a talented girl's reputation. Of course, can let the girl family in Kyoto showground rise, became the flower in the top of the reason, but not only because of these, and a greater extent rely on a certain rumor. The legend of the girl Lily is not actually surnamed Si, on the surname Li, but not the word Li, but Li, the royal family name. Rumor has it that the girl is the descendant of a certain royal family at the beginning of the founding of the country, only because her ancestors committed a major crime, only to fall into the present situation. Really understand the royal people naturally scoff at such rumors. Those people actually know in their hearts that this news is absolutely false. Just see Lily Girl never explain. The crowd simply will be wrong anyway. His Majesty the Emperor will not come to care about what a prostitute's last name. This kind of psychology is actually very good to explain. Imagine those every day in the court as a kowtow insect officials, if you think of their own under the body of the wonderful people are actually His Majesty's distant relatives. It is estimated that it will be a lot of pleasure. So the drunken immortal residence is very red, very expensive, but every evening is still lively, willing to throw money to become the guest of honor of the girl Lily I don't know how many wrongdoers. But this day some strange, the boat parked on the shore, but not allowed those waiting for the boys to go up. A few fierce-looking men guarded outside the diving board, almost with those who clashed up. Fortunately, the pimp down to explain a bit. Those boys only know that today the drunken immortal residence is actually someone to the package. How much to pack the drunken immortal residence? Those gentlemen who liked to lightly bend the willow of the Zhangtai left unhappy, and could not help but secretly curse the person who had chartered the drunken immortal residence as a loser. Fan Xian looked at the exquisite snacks on the table and drank the wine handed over by the slender hands, and indeed felt that he was a loser. Although this silver money is Fuji Zijing's expenditure from the account of the Sananbo residence, although his father is in charge of the silver money of the Qing kingdom, the account of the Fan residence is equivalent to a small account of the Qing kingdom, and these small sums of money will not yet be seen in the eyes of the people. But when Fan Xian thought of the amount of money he would spend today, he still felt a little pain, plus he didn't know how his father would react if he knew that he was using the money from the public coffers to go to a brothel, so he was a little uneasy. The source of uneasiness also came from the girl in his arms. See Lily Girl eyebrow like willow leaves, black eyes look forward to flow, lips if painted jus, gently open and close between the natural flow of a flavor. The worst thing is that she is all moist, sitting in Fan Xian's arms. Every square inch between the sense of touch are let Fan Xian a little lost in thought. Feeling the heartbeat of this beautiful sun underneath him getting faster and faster, Si Lili secretly smiled, confirming that this young master of Fanfu was really a child, no longer teasing him, coming down from his arms, pouring a cup of wine for him and sending it to his lips to drink it shallowly. Translated with DeepL.com, free version.